It was in the spring of 1986. In terms of health, I was in a very bad condition. I weighed almost 200 pounds at the time and I had been smoking cigarettes since I was 14 years old. At that time that was over 10 years, 3 years of which I also smoked pot. My cigarette consumption added up to 1 or 2 packs a day, on weekends sometimes a little more. I also had never done any kind of sports up to that point and my condition reflected that accordingly. When I went up the 2 flights of stairs to my room, I was completely pooped. I often thought with concern about what to do with myself. 2 years earlier, I had an out-of-body experience where I encountered this beautiful fog of light. I had a conversation with it where I promised to stop smoking weed. But 2 years later, in 1986, I had still no idea how to keep that promise. A year earlier, I was so depressed that I tried to kill myself. As a result, I was prescribed the neuroleptic 𝗪𝗵𝗿 and the antidepressant 𝘃𝗵𝗄, both of which I took every day. These pills did not make me much happier, but even more sluggish than I already was. One night in the spring of 1986, however, a foundation was laid that changed my life, even if I did not understand what was happening at the time. One night, shortly after I went to bed, I suddenly saw my body from above lying below in the bed. I thought I'm dead and that my heart is too weak. I don't know how I came up with this idea. It was just suddenly there when I saw my physical body lying beneath me. And I was not alone. Someone I didn't know approached me. Before I could even think another thought, this someone said he was a doctor and wanted to help me. He had been hearing my grievances for a long time and had now come to give me a new heart. A new heart? I wondered. And I thought that would mean I would have to spend the rest of my life, which is maybe 2 more years, hooked up to a machine in a hospital. No, I don't want that. I'd rather die right away, I thought to myself. He said not with this heart of his, because it is a very old heart. When he said that, I almost freaked out because I thought he was going to give me a heart from an old person. An old heart? I might as well die right away, because my chances of survival may decrease to half a year. No, I won't let that happen to me. At that point, my consciousness and my astral body were one. The doctor was directly across from me. Suddenly, completely unexpectedly, his hands rushed out and touched me on the right and left of my neck. At that moment, it was as if all life was sucked out of me. I was paralyzed, but my mind was still clear. The doctor turned my astral body horizontally, then my consciousness separated from it and I was now an observer again. My astral body floated into a room and the doctor followed after it. There was a bed in this room that I floated towards and upon which I came to rest. That's all I took notice of in this room. Now myself went back into the astral body and watched what was happening from the bed. The doctor raised his hands upwards, holding a red glowing ball in his hand, which did not look like a heart at all to me. I was lying on the bed and couldn't defend myself. What is he doing now? He doesn't want to put that thing in my chest. What if it is from a bad person? Will I also be bad then? Those were my thoughts at that moment. Then I saw a cross hovering above me. This calmed me down and the doctor placed the ball in my chest. I felt no pain, nothing. He said he was done and I can get up now and walk. I said to him I just had surgery, I need to rest, recover. After a heart operation you can't get up and walk right away. But he just said not with this heart, it is strong and withstands all pressure. He said this in a very assertive tone, but not mean or aggressive. So I stood up and walked out of the room. Now my consciousness separated from my astral body again and I watched myself as I began to walk. I ran across fields, through the woods, along rivers and I was happy to see myself like that. There was a bench at the end of a long road. That's where I sat down. Also, the doctor, whom I hadn't seen while I was running, sat down with me. He asked me if he had promised too much. Promised too much? No, I thought, and I saw my astral body giving a thumbs up. Then suddenly I was above my physical body again, which was lying in the bed. A quick look at it, and then I was already inside again and fell to sleep. The next day when I woke up, I had slight pain on my neck when I swallowed, where the doctor had touched me. But that was gone after a few hours. On June 11, 1986, a few days after this experience, I quit smoking. I just decided to do so the day before. I had tried to quit a few times before, but I never succeeded permanently. A few acquaintances asked me one day if I wanted to go jogging with them, and I joined in. We ran about 3 miles along the Main. They ran extra slowly because of me, and I almost puked my lungs out of my body, but I persevered. I started to like it. After a few runs, I simply dropped the psychotropic drugs. I felt that running was good for me, and I also lost weight. At some point I went to the neurologist who had prescribed me the psychotropic drugs because I still had an appointment. I was afraid he would scold me. As I sat in his room, he first asked if I had lost weight. Yes, about 20 pounds, and I don't take the pills anymore. That just slipped out of my mouth. He looked at me in amazement and asked what I had done. I go jogging with friends a lot now, I said. That's good, that's very good, he answered. He was happy about it and encouraged me to continue on like this. He said that these pills were not a long-term solution, and he was really happy that they worked so well and helped me to find joy in life again. I didn't tell him anything about the nighttime visitor. And I don't think that my new healthier condition and attitude came from the pills. It was this spiritual doctor who ultimately helped me. Whoever or whatever he is, I thank him. In the next few years I walked and cycled a lot, and in December 1986 I met a new woman.